morning, friends. It's my pleasure to moderate the panel on the new book, Ban This, and my honor to introduce you to this panel. I just want to say by way of introduction, my name is Luis Alberto Urrea. I'm a proud veteran of Mexican-American Studies programs, and gee, it's too bad they didn't lead me to anything good in life. So, you know, before we get started, I just wanted to say something that, you know, this isn't really about books. It's about our children, and it's about the freedom of thought. And I just want to tell you that we are really, really blessed to have MAS students here with us right now, today. And I was wondering if y'all would stand up for a second. Could you stand up for a second? These are our children. That's what it's about. I want to introduce you to the editor of Ban This, one of my favorite people in the world and somebody who's really doing the battle, Santino Rivera, poet, editor, activist. And as I said to these kids that we met earlier today, and this is a compliment, Santino thinks it's 1971, so he's an activist. And I've asked Santino to introduce his panel of people. I'm a little fanboyed out right now with these folks up here, but thank you. I'm going to turn it over to Santino.
Hello, welcome. Thank you all for coming. It is an honor to be here with you. As Luis said, I am a publisher, independent publisher and author, and being here is a dream come true. This book was hatched out of what has happened in Tucson, and through, you know, this amazing journey, here we are presenting to you and bringing it to you in person. It's very humbling. It was very humbling to meet these students and see who this is directly affecting. I was able to reach out through the internet, through social media, and go coast to coast and bring together, you can see one of the slides has all of the authors that I was able to contact. Some of them are rock stars like Luis here and Gustavo Arellano down here on the end, and other ones are up and coming and, you know, part of the next generation of Chicano and Chicana authors. One of the things we were trying to tell these kids this morning is that they are not alone, and the whole world is watching. It's really kind of mind-blowing and a little surreal in a Twilight Zone kind of way that we're here in this day and age talking about censorship of literature and of art and really of history. So let me just thank you again for coming. Let me introduce everybody. You guys know Luis Alberto Urrea. He's internationally best-selling author. This guy is one of my heroes. I was telling the Arizona Daily Star the other day that a lot of literature, American literature courses push Walt Whitman. I like to push Luis Alberto Urrea because both are American literary treasures and both need to be recognized. You know, and we are talking about, you know, people are afraid of the word Chicano and Chicana. It's one of those loaded terms nowadays because of the way politics rolls, but, you know, we're talking about American authors. This is American literature. You know, this body of work, these studies, it's American studies. It needs to be recognized and embraced by everybody. I mean, we're just like everybody else. So that's part of the reason that we're here. So let me introduce the rest of the panel. To my left, we have Andrea Serrano. She is from Albuquerque, New Mexico. She is an author, poet, and a musician. She's got an amazing poem in the book. I hope you guys check it out. To her left, we have Lizz Huerta, who is an educator, author, and poet, and she is from San Diego, California, and she has really just mind-blowing, amazing pieces in this book. One in particular is it's about the games that kids play as children. It's called Border Patrol. I really liked it. You have to check it out. And then on the end, we have another rock star with us who is gracious enough to lend his talents to this book and to this panel. This is Gustavo Arellano. And if you don't know, he is coast to coast in weekly papers and I think some dailies too. No, just weeklies. He is. This is Ask a Mexican. So if you've ever opened a paper and you've seen the little stereotypical character guy with the big tooth, the gold tooth and the sombrero, and he answers questions from anybody and everybody about Mexicans. This is him. He's also the editor of the OC Weekly in Orange County, and he's the author of Taco USA: How Mexican Food Conquered America, which he'll be talking about later today. So, I mean, it's a real honor for all of us to be here with you and to present this to you. And I'm gonna hand it back to Luis.
Awesome panel. So, you know, Santino and I spent a lot of time talking about this issue on Twitter, you know, now all morning, you know, and the thing that's really been haunting me lately is this, and I thought it'd be a useful first question, but I cannot comprehend why, when the issues began to transpire here, that the first national media coverage was in France, in England, in Russia, and the United States didn't pick up on it for quite a while. And I'm curious. It just I'm not saying any kind of conspiracy or any other thing, but it's just really, I don't understand what that is about. And I was wondering, I know you'll have an opinion, but I was wondering what was it that kept the mainstream media from really pursuing this story for quite a while, do you think, in this country?
Well, I think this has been going on for a long time. We were talking about the Chicano movement, which, you know, goes back, you know, decades. And there was a Chicano journalist in L.A., Ruben Salazar, that was killed by the police out there during the Chicano moratorium. And I've been reading a lot of his stuff. And I noticed back in the 70s that the word Chicano and Chicana was part of the national lexicon in those times. It was spoken about in Congress. There was an article in the Wall Street Journal about Chicanos in East LA and about the movement that was going on. And, you know, over time, we've really kind of gotten away from that word and that history. That, you know, that word has become a very scary word because of, you know, people's fear and people's ignorance. And I think that a lot of the media and a lot of people have kind of clung to, you know, pushing that word and anything related to that word kind of off to the side as kind of, you know, that's kind of a hush kind of word. So I think it's almost accepted in the media nowadays that, you know, if it has anything to do with Mexican American studies or Chicano studies or anything even, you know, it doesn't even have to relate to the studies. If you're not talking about immigration, you know, the media or a Latino voting bloc, you know, the media doesn't really talk about it. They'll use words like Latino or illegal. If you start using words like Mexican or Chicana, you know, that scares people for some reason, you know, and it shouldn't. I mean, you know, we're talking about books. You know, we're here at the Tucson Festival of Books, which has a big, actually, you know, tinge of irony to it when it's in the same state where books are banned. You know, I mean, that's a real kind of bizarre kind of irony. You know, so I just think that people are afraid, and people are usually afraid because of ignorance. You know, if people would just look and read these books. I mean, read Luis's books. Read Occupied America by Rodolfo Acuna or any of these banned authors, and just, you know, form your own opinion and say, you know what, these are just words. This is just a book. These are just ideas. You know, this is just literature. You know, I'm hoping that through, you know, us being on C-SPAN and through you people being here who may be from the area or from out of town, I don't know, but you'll take something from this, whether you agree with it or not, and you'll say, you know, we don't need to be afraid of literature. We don't need to be afraid of books, you know. So hopefully that'll carry on. I mean, I don't...
Oh, go ahead.
I think when we're talking about coverage in the media and why wasn't this a big deal right away and why didn't this get national coverage, I think specifically it's because it is about Chicanos. And I think that we are pushed to the margins. We are erased oftentimes. And I think, really looking at the literature, it wasn't just books by